Good evening, everyone. How are you? Let me adjust my volume. There we go. It is Nights with Ping coming to you from Melbourne, Australia. How is everyone in the chat? It is a very cold day here, actually. Bizarre for a summer. It's supposed to be warm and hot, but it is not right now. Uh, Let me say hello to everyone. Sherry Runs Late was actually the first one here, so she wasn't running late at all. DJ's here. Hey, buddy. Good to see you. I hate mornings and joy to the woos. Kelly in Texas, Amy 007. And that's it for now. I know there was a problem with the notifications tonight. It didn't go out to my account, my second account. I don't know why. I'll have a look into it and I'll figure it out. Joy to the Woo says it's 31 degrees here at the moment. Yeah, it's freezing here. I have no idea why. I mean, we must be in a cold front down in Melbourne. Margaret's here. Hey, she says, Vinny says hi. I love your little dog, Vinny. I hope he's doing well and keeping mum nice and warm. It's pretty cold up in the US right now in some places. They're having like an ice storm, I saw. Hey, Edget is here. Hey, Edget, how are you? Nanalana, Siana is here too. Who else is here? I think that's about it for now. I'm sure more people will drop in as we get going. I have some updates, and more updates. The big one is the zoo murder from yesterday. We have more information. The second one is we have more information on Rain Gonzalez. We have more information on her. She was an Amber Alert that was issued last week. We spoke about her. There is a little bit more information about her today. And the curious case of internet swatting or swatting in general, we're going to talk about that. Apparently, there's been an uptick in swatting cases over the weekend. And when you find out why, you might be like me and go, huh? Why? Because I don't understand it, but we're going to talk about it. Um, Let me get the first story set up. Let's talk about the zoo murder. It sounds weird, but it's very serious. Let me find it. If my things will work. Yeah, there we go. There we go. All right. All right. And then the camera. Hey, guys, how are you? Oh, the camera's high today. I don't know why. Hey, how's it going, everyone? Good to see everyone in the chat. I promise you, I am alive. All right, let's have a look. Yesterday afternoon, we learned that there was a murder at a zoo, like during work hours. It wasn't after hours. It wasn't, something different. It was during work hours between two work colleagues. Now, I'm going to go to the top here. Here's a photo of the man who is allegedly responsible for the murder and also self-inflicting harm on himself. He is under police guard in hospital right now. It says here a chef arrested after his female colleague was stabbed to death at the National Zoo and Aquarium in Canberra has been identified. Now, hopefully, I can get his name right. It's Jude Wejenjeshi was taken to hospital and placed under arrest after his fellow worker was found dead in a storeroom on Monday afternoon. It says here the Daily Mail understands the 29-year-old woman is a Bhutanese national. Police were called to the zoo at Yarralumla at about 12:50 p.m. and found the woman's body in a storeroom behind a commercial kitchen. She's believed to have been stabbed with a knife before her suspected attacker tried to harm himself. Yes, apparently he had some quite serious injuries that were self-inflicted. Now, from what I understand, this last name, Wejenjeshi, is a Sri Lankan, typically Sri Lankan last name. And this woman is Bhutanese. So similar area. I'm not sure how close those two places are, but I suspect maybe there's some crossover in their cultures. Maybe maybe they were friends or something at work. Maybe they were dating. Who knows? It doesn't actually say what the police are still trying to investigate their previous relationship, if there was any. It says here, Wei Jeshi was arrested at the scene and taken to the hospital. We know that. The cook's shocked neighbors said police swarmed an Oaks Estate unit complex around 2 p.m. before spending about 8 hours scouring Wei Jeshi's unit. The privately owned apartment building is comprised of more than 24 single-bedroom units. Sounds like something like a bachelor would live in, or someone who just needs like a small apartment. Their neighbor said they were shocked. He was a good neighbor. I feel like we hear that every time someone does this. And there's another photo of him wearing a skull cap or something. And very, very weird. It says here, according to social media, Weshanjeshi has worked all around Australia as a chef since migrating from Sri Lanka. He was a sous chef at Jalamala Wildlife Lodge, which is part of the National Zoo and Aquarium. Photos on his social media show him as a gym and motorcycle enthusiast. He also runs a separate online blog account dedicated to his culinary work, which featured images of dishes he cooked while on the job. Wejenjeshi spent a few years studying a cooking course in Melbourne, graduating in 2019 before relocating to Canberra 2 years later. So he's only been there for a couple of years. It says here, visitors unaware of the stabbing have been turning up to the zoo on Tuesday morning to find it closed. While police confirmed Wejenjeshi and the dead woman were co-workers at the zoo, detectives are yet to determine whether there was any romantic relationship between the pair. They're saying an autopsy is yet to be performed, but at this stage, we believe the victim died from being stabbed with a knife. They said there was a knife that was also found at the scene. There's a photo of distraught co-workers consoling each other. They're saying the man was taken to hospital to be treated for what appeared to be self-inflicted injuries and remains in a stable condition. They said they do not believe there are any direct witnesses to the disturbance, but there were people in the area at the time who have been spoken to by officers. Really tragic. I mean, you don't expect people to die in this way at work or die at all in this way, but a bit strange to happen at a workplace. I want to know what their previous working relationship is, or if they, uh, had any sort of maybe had an infatuation with her. Those are the type of details I would like to find out. Joy to the Woo says where he lived at Oaks Estate is a notorious suburb where ex-prisoners and drug addicts live. Not a nice suburb at all. I can't say I know it. I've been to Canberra a few times, but not to that particular area. Um, our relatives live in a completely different area, so I haven't been to there. I hope we find out a little bit more about him, but at least we know who committed or allegedly committed the crime. And all we can say is I feel sorry for her family. We see these crimes. I think we've spoken about 10 of them in the last 5 days, where families will be missing family members this Christmas because of violent crime. And I don't know how they deal with it. I don't know how I would even deal with it. So all I can say is my heart goes out to their families. It really does. It must be, especially if they're maybe not even here. It says she's a Bhutanese national. Maybe she doesn't even have family here. Maybe they're back home in Bhutan. I mean, who knows? A lot of people immigrate to Australia on their own and don't necessarily bring their family. So, uh, Joy to the words here. Let me put this up on the screen. It says Oaks Estate is right next to Queanbeyan. Okay, I sort of know where that is a little bit. Catatonic is here. Hello, Ping and everyone. Oh, you did? You sent me an email? Let me have a look. Okay, it has that information about the Oaks Estate being a notorious place for like a halfway house type area. And then it's just the article that I've got up too. Thank you for sending that. I appreciate that, Woos. Um, I don't really have a ton more. Let me just have a quick look at a different source. I was actually trying to find his blog. I was trying to have a look for it and I could not find it, unfortunately. I was having a look at different blogging sites and um, just different ways his name could be spelt, and I was unable to find it. Although I think I did find a post that he made on a different site, but it wasn't anything of value to us anyway. It was just random asking a question about something to do with Google, but I was unable to find his blog. I was trying to see if we could dig into his background at all, but I don't know, Daily Mail found it. Maybe it's been scrubbed. Happens in violent crimes. They often like to scrub them. All right. Let's talk about this. If I get any more information or something big happens with this particular case, I will come back and revisit it. But I wanted to give you that update because yesterday we didn't have any details. It was just like a person had been killed at the zoo, and that's all the information was until very late last night. And they had a few more details leak out overnight. But for most of the time we were on yesterday, there was such little information about it. I mean, it did happen only, what did they say, 12:50? Yeah. We were on the air at 1. So it happened moments after we were on the air. So it was really, really breaking news yesterday. Like I said, I will keep you updated if I get more information about Weshenjeshi. I will bring it back. All right, let's talk about this. Amber alerts. Like Amber alerts, they help. I'd like to see them maybe adjusted to help more people. That would be nice. And we were talking about Rain Gonzalez last week. And let me share this. FBI searching for 13-year-old Imperial County girl who went missing a week ago. Rain Gonzalez of Brawley went missing from her home December 10th. She was last seen with Lorenzo Carlos Guerrero in a Mercedes Benz, according to the FBI. They're still searching for her. The federal investigators asked Sunday for the public's help in locating the 13-year-old girl who disappeared with a man driving a car in Imperial County, according to the FBI officials. Investigators are offering a $10,000 reward for information about her or the man's whereabouts. Officials from the FBI San Diego office said on social media site X, formerly known as Twitter, Rain Gonzalez of Brawley has been missing from her home since December 10th after she was last seen with Lorenzo Carlos Guerrero in a silver Mercedes-Benz sedan with license plate number 5ZFS158. Rain was last seen wearing light blue jeans and a black t-shirt. Guerrero was last seen wearing dark blue jeans and a white Braves jersey with the number 44 on it. They're saying due to the proximity of the missing child's residence to the US-Mexico border, they are asking for the public's help in both the US and Mexico. It is our hope that offering a reward will help us locate Rain Gonzalez quicker. That's a $10,000 reward. That's a good amount of money. It says here, yeah, I hope they find her. I really do. Do we have a photo of her? We did. Where is the photo of Rain? Here. Here we go. There's a photo of Rain Gonzalez. If you have seen her, we have a lot of people in California in the chat. Hey, Marlene, good to see you. Robin Lane is here. Good to see you both. Glad you could make it tonight. Means a lot to me. Also, while we're having a little bit of a lull, I was going through some analytics last night. Hold on 1 second. All right, there we go. I was going through some analytics last night. Only 40% of people subscribed to this channel have their notifications turned on correctly. Now, I don't know if that's by design or something else, but apparently, uh, only 40% of people who subscribed have their notifications set to all. So if you click the bell and it's set on anything but all, you won't get notifications each night. They'll only come on, you know, every couple times a week. You won't get notifications each time I go live. So if that is you, if you are one of the 60% of subscribers who don't have their notifications turned on correctly, please do so if you'd like to be here and be notified each and every night. The other thing is, if you uh, don't check your subscription status regularly, please do so. I got an email from a very uh, frantic woman last night saying, Ping, somehow I was unsubscribed from your channel and I've missed shows for 2 weeks. Yeah, she said for some reason she came back, she was unsubscribed. please check that you are subscribed. All right, that's my little PSA for tonight. Laurie Go Cowboys, good to see you. I hope you are recovering from the Cowboys' loss yesterday. She says, saw on TikTok her mum's ex-boyfriend. Whoa, that's a bit creepy, right? Her mum's ex-boyfriend. That is a bit unsure. Let me see if I can find it. Lorenzo Guerrero, 43. San Diego News 7. Do they have anything? No, but there is a photo of Guerrero. Let me do this. There you go. There's a photo of them both. Instead of just having the photo of her, you can see both of them in case you see these people around in your area. They could be anywhere from Brawley, Imperial County, all the way to the border and over the top. I mean, over the border, not over the top. Over the top of where, Ping? There's no mountains. Uh, it says days after the search began, the FBI is now offering the reward of 10K for anyone who has information on missing teenager Rain Gonzalez. It's interesting that if that is her mother's ex-boyfriend, why are they not explaining that connection? They're not, they're not, uh, they're being sort of, shy with that information. And I find that interesting. To me, that's pertinent information to the search, right? I find that a little weird. Let me search here. Where is it? Rain Gonzalez. All right, give me 1 second. I just want to check one place. I want to see if there's any updates today, like in the last hour. The Aware Foundation is currently pushing information for her, for Rain, which is great. I see them on Twitter. The National Center for Missing and Exploited Children are also posting information about Rain Gonzalez. That is a great news. There's the poster. We've showed the poster before. Missing People in America is also sharing it. That's great. So I'm just trying to see if there's anything in the last couple of hours. Doesn't seem so. Seems like most of the posts were done about 12 hours ago to 8 hours ago when that fresh reward came out. But since then, her name has got very little traffic on social media. I'm going to retweet the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children's post on my Twitter, Nights with Ping. And if you would like more information about Rain Gonzalez, or something, you can find that information on my Twitter account, or X, or whatever you call it now. Lindy says, I never get notifications and the bell is on all. I know for some people it's finicky and I don't know why. If you're doing it on a phone, it could be because your phone has no push notifications turned on, which is not a YouTube setting, it's a phone setting. So you may have to check your phone. Amy007 says, I will keep my eyes out. I hope he doesn't harm her. Yeah, I want to know more about that relationship. That's very interesting. If that really is her mother's ex-boyfriend or partner, I would like to know why he's with her. Is it some sort of sexual thing, or is it more like he is just running off with the child? I don't understand. So that would be good information. Lindy says, I'm on a laptop. I don't know. Uh, Normally, if you've got that setting clicked, you should get them. Especially if I post the stream an hour out. As long as I do it 1 hour out, it should come up. But I didn't get one tonight on my other account. I didn't get a notification, and I thought, oh, no one's going to show up. So, all right. Let me get our next story. Hopefully, some good news about rain in the future. I hope so. I thought you guys might like to see this. A little bit of science with ping, if I can find it. Where is it? Come on, ping. What are you doing? All right, share this. So this may look like just clouds and stuff of Australia, but I wanted to show you something interesting because it doesn't happen very often. So when we pull this back and we go forward, and you can see up in this area here, this dark color, if you can see like this, I can't get any closer, I don't think. No, it won't let me. Um, you can see kind of like this murky brownness here. This is actually, and it travels all the way down here. It got caught up in this trough here, and you can see all this brown smoke. This is smoke from a bushfire. And the reason I'm going to show you this, you can see it's caught up in this weather system and it's getting drawn down towards New Zealand. The reason I wanted to show you this is the next bit. Hold on. Let me get to the correct site. Share this. This here is actually not rain or thunderstorm. Well, it is a thunderstorm, but it's bushfire. This is bushfire, the one you just saw on the satellite picture. It's showing up on the radar, and you see these little bits of see these little yellow and red bits down here popping up on the fire. At least I think so. It's a little hard to tell. I'm not sure what these are because there are some storms firing through this system right now. But at least down here, south of Narrabee. I think this is the right one. There's a bushfire going on down here, which is interesting, and it's showing up on the radar. So uh, doesn't happen very often. They're saying it created its own weather system. I hope that's the right image. Here, I'll show you. It says an emergency warning today has been issued for a bushfire burning out of control in the northwest New South Wales, with some residents warned it's too late to leave. The Duck Creek Pilaga fire south of the town of Narrabee has already ripped through 80,000 hectares. The State Rural Fire Service overnight upgraded its advice to residents, with warnings lives are at risk in the Bohena Creek area. There's a photo of the fire. It looks brutal, like just really, really light. Now, this is the bit I want. This is why I'm showing you this. A fire generated thunderstorm has formed, causing dangerous fire behavior. Now, that's really dangerous. I've spoken about this. I've actually done a show on fire tornadoes before. And this is the very first stage of a fire tornado. And what happens is these bushfires almost are like a nuclear submarine or a nuclear power plant. They provide their own energy to the thunderstorm, as where a thunderstorm has to draw in warm, moist air from its surroundings with inflow bands into the storm, sort of like a vacuum cleaner. The fire almost fuels itself from the moisture from the burning leaves and timber and things like that. And they can actually put down a tornado. So you have a tornado in a bushfire or a brush fire, and it's really dangerous, very very awful. We actually had a firefighter killed. I think it was 2 summers ago. He was in his fire truck, and a fire tornado picked up a fire truck and threw it about 500 meters, and he unfortunately died in that incident. So, for some reason in Australia, we don't get a lot of normal tornadoes out of thunderstorms, but we do tend to get them out of bushfires. Something about the conditions and the bushfires and things like that. Right. Whereas the fire in the bush in Canberra, we showed that. I don't know if you were here for it, but we showed the movie from Canberra, the 2003 Canberra bushfires with the fire tornado. We actually showed the fire tornado on this channel a while ago. And Kenny Williams says, I've never heard of a fire tornado until Ping explained it. Yeah, I'm glad that you learned something interesting. And They're sort of not super common, but, they do sort of happen from time to time. I'm not saying this one is a fire tornado. I'm just saying this is the first stage of, generating one. Anytime you get a bushfire that can form its own weather systems, that's really bad. But the reason this one is actually of concern is because of that big system behind it. Sometimes that'll actually help put it out. Sometimes it'll help not help at all and actually fuel it because you got these, as you can see when I bring it forward, you've got these all this cloud cover and other things feeding into making other storms. There's one up here, there's one here, there's probably some in here somewhere, but this is a pretty good size thunderstorm right there. There's another one here. But so there's storm conditions around already. And then you can see all this smog or, you know, smoke coming off the fire here. It's sort of getting spread out. The winds must be picking up because it's not as condensed as it was like over here, if I can get to it. See, down here, you can see it's more condensed. You can see that brown a lot clearer. And then as we go through, it starts to dissipate as those winds pick up coming through this way. So anyway, I know science with ping is not true crime, but I just wanted to show you that because it's not often it happens. And I thought you guys might find it interesting. All right, let me get to our next case. I like to teach people stuff if I can and find that weather stuff quite interesting. All right, let's share this tab. New York lawmakers recently filed legislation to stop defendants' family members from profiteering from their basically if you have a murder in your family and then you try and sell a book or a TV show, they've introduced legislation to stop that. And that comes amid reports Long Island serial killer's estranged wife was paid for an upcoming docuseries. Film crews reportedly followed Asa Ellerup to Rex Heuermann's latest court appearance. A Peacock spokesperson told WCBS that Ellerup was not compensated for her participation in the docuseries, but was paid a licensing fee for use of her archive materials. They do that so much. They do this all the time. They'll say, "We didn't pay them, but we paid for their family photos or their family videos." I mean, it's just a way around it. It says here, in July, police arrested Heuermann in Manhattan for the 2009 and 2010 murders of three women at Gilgo Beach on Long Island. Heuermann is charged with the murders of Melissa Bartholomew and Megan Waterman and Amber Lynn Costello. He is a prime suspect in the 25-year-old Maureen Barnard Barnes death. I hope they get him on that too. All four women were reportedly wrapped in burlap and buried next to each other on a Gilgo Beach. And it says here, Ellerup was reportedly paid $1 million for her participation in the series. I mean, I'll watch it. I'll watch anything about the Long Island serial killer. I was actually thinking the other day, there's a photo of her and Rex. I was actually thinking the other day, what if they can't connect him to the other bodies, like the other ones they found? Like they connected him to the ones in burlap, but what if the other ones are not him? What if there's another serial killer out there, like the one that the remains were found in Manor across the other side of the water? What if that's not him? What if that's someone else and there's still a killer out there and they think they've solved it and it's done and there could be another one out there? Uh Hold on, guys, give me 1 second. Oh, it's still on the wrong page. Sorry. I will fix that. Oh no, it's on the right page. Maybe I'm behind. Sorry, I want to address this before I go crazy. Lorigo Cowboy says, "Can I see something about another YouTuber that needs help?" I don't know what that means. trying to figure out what she's talking about. I all right. She'll have to explain it to me. Marlene, is Marlene here? Marlene says crime does pay. Apparently, if you are a family member, and Emily Nub says you could be right. Oh, I meant say, can I say something about another YouTuber that needs help? Oh, sure, if you want to. Who is the YouTuber? I don't mind helping people. Who is it? Just put it in the chat and we'll do it. Yeah, it just worries me that, we're all caught up in this fanfare of, yay, we got him, Rex Human, he's the killer. And I'm happy about it. Like, I'm like, I never thought they'd solve this. But it worries me that what if there's other women that are not connected to this? And then once they get him, they're just going to be like, it was probably him. And let's just move on. And they won't go back and try and solve the older ones. You know, I don't know. Something about a few of them just doesn't feel like it's him and that it's probably maybe a different killer, especially the ones at Manorville. I just feel like maybe those are not him. They're just different. They're different. Different styles of killing, different styles of working, like disposal of the victims, the way they were treated, that type of thing. Oh, Lorigo Cowboy says cracking cases. What's wrong with them? Let me see if I can find something. What do they need help with? Is this thing saying that they've been charged with child abuse? Is that what's going on? I see a video here on my listing here. Both Cam and Ali have been charged with child abuse. Is it something like, yeah, Cam and Ali? I see it. Yeah, I see it. Look, I don't know enough about it. Let me have a look into it tonight. And if it's something we can help with, I will put it on the air tomorrow, okay? Just, I don't want to speak on something I don't know enough about. Let me do some research and then I'll get back to it. They are on drugs. Well, how do they need help then? Do you want, I don't understand. Do you want me to advertise that they're bad parents or I, I don't want to do that. I mean, I'd rather just let them deal with their own legal problems. But I'll have a look into it. I will. Um, Joe, hey Joe, good to see you. That's an interesting point. Thank you for bringing that up. Joe says Rex might be linked to the Route 29 killings in Virginia. His mum lived in that area. Yeah, I mean, I think he could be linked to other killings in other states. I just mean some of the other bodies in that area, maybe not him. The Route 29. I know that he also was suspected in maybe where his other home is. Is it in Carolina? That they think that he could be involved in one. Actually, I don't know if people saw this the other day. There's a woman who thinks Rex Human maybe killed her sister, and she's a African American woman, and she's convinced her sister was killed by Rex. And I was like, maybe, maybe not, but it's an interesting connection. I'll have to find it. Candy Williams says, I was shocked about Cam and Ali, didn't know if it's true. Yeah, I don't know enough about it, but I will research it and then I'll have a look. I mean, I don't want to speak on something I don't know enough about. Gambler says, I have no idea what that means. Let's see. Laurie Go Cowboy said they had their kids taken away, and I'm afraid they're going to OD and die. I mean, I hope that's something that their family or something can help with. I'm not sure how us as YouTubers would be able to help them. I feel like by spreading information about that, we may actually put more pressure on them to not do what you say, but just feel worse about themselves, if that makes sense. I mean, it's probably the last thing I'd want if that happened to me was that everyone was talking about it. I'd probably hope that people would just leave me alone to try sort it out. But like I said, I'll have a look at it, but I just not sure how I can help them. I'm not sure if there's a way I can do that. I mean, if it's a horrible situation if true. I mean, I feel sorry for the kids, the most part, and then I feel sorry for them that they're stuck in this situation. Um, Gambler says, I heard about them last night on another podcast. The host was saying, okay, I'll do some research tonight. I'm not sure what we can do or if there's a way to help or I don't know, but I will check into it and see what's going on with it. It's awful. Sounds terrible for everyone. I mean, I feel sorry for people who are drug addicts, and um, I feel sorry for their children even more because they often live lives that are not fulfilled because their parents are doing stuff. There's a video of them, and you can tell it's very sad. It's very horrible. All right, I want to move subjects, but I will look into it. I keep my promises, and will have a look into it tonight. Um, let's talk about this because I think this is shocking. The shocking moment: five people hanging out of a SUV during street takeover in Colorado Springs are crushed after car rolls over as horrified onlookers try lifting the vehicle up to free trapped victims. I watched this video. It's a little graphic. I mean, you don't see any blood and guts or anything. It's just the situation, which is graphic. I'm going to show it to you. Um, I always like to say, warning or whatever. Let's watch it. It's blurred anyway, you guys, so you won't be able to see the impact. But I mean, very silly, very, very silly to do that with people hanging out the doors and see they try to push the car here on this side, but there's actually people trapped on the other side.
Oh!
There's actually someone under here.
No, there's someone on the other side. There's someone on the other side. Don't flip it. Don't flip it. Don't flip it. Push up.
Horrible, right, guys? I mean, I don't know why people do this stuff. It says five passengers were crushed by an SUV as the driver performed donuts in a strip mall parking lot in Colorado Springs. The driver, Marisol Wentling, was arrested for reckless driving and did not sustain any serious injuries. The passengers, however, suffered life threatening injuries, and their conditions at this time are unknown. People do silly things. Five people were crushed when they were hanging out of the SUV in a street takeover in Colorado Springs. The incident occurred just after 10:15 p.m. on Saturday in the parking lot of the market at Spring Creek in the southeast of Colorado Springs. When police arrived on the scene, they found several passengers severely injured. They were taken to a local hospital, and their conditions are unknown at this time. The driver was identified as Marisol Wentling. She did not sustain, we know that. She was arrested for reckless driving and taken to jail on Sunday, but she has since been released on bond, according to KKTV. Let's have a look at KKTV. I don't want to replay the video, but oh, there's the aftermath of the car. It's really smashed up. You guys can see it. I don't want to play it, but let's see if there's more information here. I'm surprised she didn't get a different charge for like uh, grievous bodily harm, like or there's like you can cause injury with a motor vehicle, that type of thing. The charges are really minute considering the damage she did to people. And they said, based on the investigation so far, police say they believe the crowd met at the strip mall specifically to do donuts in the parking lot. The alleged driver of the SUV was arrested only for reckless driving. She has been identified by CSPD as Marisol Wentling. We know that. She remained in jail, but records Monday morning indicate she had since bonded out. I don't know how you get such little charges. Do you think those charges might be upgraded in the future depending on how these people recover in hospital and stuff like that? I I'm surprised at how small a charge. Oh, hey Penguin. Penguin says I got my notifications for your show. Hey, glad you got it, Penguin. Kenny Williams says they are street takeovers in LA a lot. The cars spin around and get so close to onlookers, it's scary. I know, right? I mean, that car was so overloaded. You could just tell. Uh, let's see. What a fool. I mean, it's shocking. I mean, she's forever going to be known that she hurt her friends or whatever. I mean, that's horrible, gambler. Um, Marlon Clausen said rich kids, possibly, or they're just kids with cars. Sienna says, I think all of them should be charged because they made the choice to sit in the windows and they all acted dumb. Amy says she needs a harsher charge. I agree. There's got to be a charge like cause injury with a motor vehicle or attempted murder with a motor vehicle, something like that, or attempted manslaughter with a motor vehicle. I mean, I find it weird that all she got was reckless driving, like with that many injuries. I mean, if she just rolled the car and people were okay, I get it. It's reckless driving, but the amount of life-changing injuries that she probably caused to people that apparently are her friends, I, you would think it would be something more substantial. Let me just search her name quickly and see if I can find anything else about her. Marisol. Is there a short name for Marisol, like a nickname? Does anyone know? Like you wouldn't call yourself Marisol, like or you might, but like there might be a shorter name. Mary? Would that be maybe the name? Marissa? I'm trying to think of like what she might call herself. I'm just checking to see if there's. I don't know. People are saying that she shouldn't get off so lightly. I saw on social media. Yeah, I can't find anything else about her. It says here, after police arrived to the parking lot, police found a banged up vehicle and the five people with life threatening injuries. Hold on, what state is this? It is Colorado Springs. Let me look up what um, the criminal code says about vehicle charges. Hold on. Just trying to see if there's any sort of charges you could do like that. Attempted. Here, this is a different case. Let me see what this guy got. Yeah, this is it. You could get 4 counts of felony menacing vehicular assault. That's more what I would have thought she would have got, something like that. That charge, like, or something similar, not just reckless driving. Yeah, I'll put it in the chat. You guys can see felony menacing vehicular assault. Okay. All right. That's more what I thought anyway. Uh, Mary? Maris? Okay. Murray? Oh, Murray? Yeah, that's a good one. Um, Okay. I Hate Mornings says, "Where are you, I Hate Mornings?" Nope, that's not it. Where are you? Where's your other message? That could be it. Vehicular endangerment. Could be. Where is yes, here. I Hate Morning says, "Yes, I think police are waiting to see what else to charge her with, like a holding charge, right? They can always upgrade charges later on." Marlon Clausen says, "It reminds me of the boat accident with Paul M." It does, right? Did you guys know, you know the guy on Shark Tank, Mr. Wonderful? Do you know that him and his wife killed someone on a boat? Um, I think it happened like a year or two ago. They actually killed someone on their boat. Their boat ran into another boat and killed them. And I don't think they were ever charged over it either. Amy 007 says, "Thanks, Ping." Yes. Um, Mari is short for Marisol. Okay. I'll have a quick look, but I want to get off this topic. Let me see if I can find her. Um, I don't think this is her. There is a Mary. Mary Wentling. What? Boston. I don't think we're in Boston. We're in Colorado. It's not the right lady. No, that's not her. That's why what keeps coming up with Boston. Um, I can't find anything for her. I guess you can't find everyone. Yeah, I don't see anything. I see another lady, but it's not the right person. All right, that's fine. Guys, give me 1 second. I wish my cats would stop this. 1 second, guys. All right, we are back. Back again. All right, Laura G. See you later. Um, Gambler says she died, right? Who are we talking about? Marissa? No, she didn't die. She's fine, apparently, according to it. All right, maybe we're talking about something else. Laura G, I can hear. Laura G says, I can hear what our favorite CSPD retired detective would say about this. It would be caustic. I agree. I was just trying to see if we could find a photo of her or any background information to like who she is or anything like that. Sienna says, I hate to say this, but in Colorado at 18, you can drink what is called near beer. Lower alcohol and marijuana is legal. What the hell is near beer? I've never heard of such a thing. Near beer. Hold on. Let's have a look. What is near beer? Near beer is low alcohol beer with little or no alcohol content that aims to reproduce the taste of beer while eliminating or reducing the inebriating effects and carbohydrates. So it's basically like that. You see those brands on television that are like, we have the less calories and the, 1% or whatever. I've seen these, but they do have these on television. Like, whatever they call it. I don't know what brands they have. I don't drink, so I don't know the brands, but I do see them on the football and things like that. It says in the United States, beverages containing less than 0.5% of alcohol by volume were legally called non-alcoholic. They can legally be sold to people under the age of 21 in many American states. Interesting. Yeah. In Australia, a light beer refers to any beer with less than 3.5% alcohol. So in Australia, it's just like it could still get you drunk. That's Australia for you. It says here, light beer is a reduced caloric content. Okay, so it's just light beer, sort of like really ultra light beer. All right, let's get into more true crime. I don't want to dilly dally on things. Let me grab our next story for tonight. I don't want to do Ruby Frankie. I know everyone wants to talk about that, but Trisha's doing that at 10:30, and I don't want to steal that story from her. I want to let her have that. And she knows more about it anyway. I don't know a ton about it. All right. All right. This one, here we go. Come on, computer, let's go. It says here, a 4-year-old boy killed during road rage shooting in Lancaster identified. A 4-year-old. This little boy. Yeah, oh, go away. This little boy shot and killed in a road rage incident. I mean, his name is Gore Adamian, the 4-year-old boy who was tragically killed after he was hit by a bullet during a road rage shooting over the weekend in Lancaster. Says here, the 4-year-old was killed during the road rage. Adamian died after he was hit with a stray bullet while sitting in the back seat of a car. Deputies were first dispatched to the 44600 block of Sierra Highway near E Avenue J at around 7:30 p.m. after learning of a. I know this is really bright, guys. I have dark mode on. I don't know why it's doing this. Learning of a gunshot victim, according to the statement from Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department. While investigating, they learned that the victims who were driving along Sierra Highway and East Avenue J were targeted in a road rage incident. During the incident, the suspect driver cut them off and then began following them. Jeez. While being pursued by the suspects, the driver slowed his vehicle, at which time the suspect driver pulled up alongside the vehicle and began shooting. What the hell? His parents, who were in the car, drove him to a nearby hospital where he was later pronounced dead. Come on, everyone. Why are we like this? Like, why are we shooting people in traffic? Come on. It says here, the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department responded to the call and found the suspect's vehicle not far from the shooting scene. They arrested a 29-year-old man and a 27-year-old woman on suspicion of murder. Police said the suspects followed the family through several side streets until the driver of the family car slowed, which prompted the suspects to stop alongside and shoot, like we said before. Lancaster Mayor Rex Parris said newly installed security cameras along with the victim's dash camera helped find the murderer. Investigators have not released the names of the suspects nor the victims. Well, they have released the victims now. It's the little boy. Why is this white like this? I don't want a white background. People yell at me. Let's see if I can find one that's dark. There we go.
The news now, 2 people are behind bars after suspected road rage shooting took the life of a 4-year-old boy. That child was hit by gunfire in the backseat of a car. Eyewitness News reporter Leo Starworth has reaction to this tragic shooting.
The 4-year-old shot to death in a road rage incident Friday night in Lancaster has been identified as Gore Adamian, the child in the back seat of his parents' car when authorities say 2 suspects allegedly chased down Gore's family and unleashed a barrage of gunfire on their vehicle. The shooting happening after the suspects allegedly cut off the family's car in the 44,000 block of Sierra Highway, mere blocks from the LA County Sheriff's Station in Lancaster. We talked to a spokesperson for the victim's family who is outraged at such senseless violence.
Fight against this violence and killing, stop murdering and shooting. We want our kids go to the school and come back safely. Go play outside and come back safely. Like drive, go to market or visit friends, come back safely.
Detectives say the tragedy unfolding around 7:30 Friday night as the victim's family was driving on Sierra Highway, encountering the suspects in traffic. Investigators saying the suspects cut the family off in their vehicle and then followed them through several surface streets. Authorities say at some point the victim's family slowed down, and that's when the suspects allegedly pulled alongside the family's vehicle and opened fire, striking the child, killing him. Detectives arresting a 29-year-old man and a 29-year-old woman, booking them on suspicion of murder. Given one of the suspects appears to have a long criminal rap sheet, Lancaster Mayor Rex Paris saying perhaps that suspect should have been in jail and not on the street.
Isn't going to be the last 4-year-old that's shot down. I mean, the reality is that people have to be held accountable when they commit the lower end crimes, because if you don't catch them then you're dealing with dead children.
And we're gonna see that kind of right now. This kind of light and scattered.
You know, I was thinking the other day, we do a lot of stories on children who have been murdered or killed, and I was thinking to myself, do we just have babies so that a certain percentage of them can be killed? Like, is that how the world works? And I kept thinking to myself, it must be because it keeps happening. So there's a certain percent of babies every year who just get killed. Like they just get murdered, they just get, run over and that type of thing. And it's like it's a percentage game. With all the technology we have in the world, it'd be nice if we didn't have that, and babies could just continue to grow up and become adults, and young adults, and grow old and things like that. But that's like a horrifying way to look at it. That a percentage of mums and dads who have babies each year, their their baby could be in the percent that gets killed. Stray bullet, hit by a car, abducted, all sorts of things, and it's a really cold way to look at um, the world of crime and things like that. It's almost like, oh, it's just accepted. Oh, 1.3% of babies born worldwide, will just die. They just won't make it to 18. It just, it just happens. And it's so blasé. We should need to do more to make sure that little kids make it to adulthood. I hate seeing these stories in the media of little babies dying, and they don't know. He doesn't know why that person has a gun. He has no idea. He's just in the seat of his car with his dad. He has no idea. So it drives me crazy. Really does. I hate seeing it. And yeah, you know how like the reason I said that is because like when they do like nature documentaries and they're like, oh yes, only 2 out of 3 of the baby birds will make it to their full grown state. And that is why they breed every summer, so they can have a fully fledged community of birds. I, it's almost like the same with babies, and it's horrible to think that way. Really is. Sienna says, I really hope not. I know. The statistics actually bear it out, and it's horrible. We could do more to. Everyone could. Like, we don't need to shoot people in traffic and stuff like that. Gotta learn. We all gotta learn. I gotta learn. I get angry in traffic too, but I'd never pull out a gun. Um, I mean, some people just gotta learn how to control their anger. I mean, why would you shoot someone in traffic? Like, you don't know them. It's silly. It's just people think they can do whatever they want and just be like, that's fine. And if a little baby suffered, like a little child, he didn't know. He like I said, he didn't know anything about it. His dad did something, like, or at least allegedly, anyway. Anyway, sorry, that kind of stuff really gets me upset. Hate seeing that. All right, we got one more. One more for today. I was trying to look. Oh, yes, the swatting. Yes, let me grab that link. Let me grab this link. It's from our friends at ABC News. ABC News. Our friends, we know them. They always help us. No, they don't know who we are. All right, let's watch this and then we'll talk about swatting. Oh,
Are on high alert after a record number of swatting incidents in about 30 states. Officials in at least 2 states have arrested suspects in recent days, and the Anti-Defamation League is now investigating. The trend comes as anti-Semitism is surging. Here's ABC's Rena Roy.
Tonight, authorities investigating a record number of at least 300 swatting incidents targeting Jewish communities across the country this weekend. Today alone, Jewish facilities in at least 19 states and Washington, D.C. received bomb threats via email, according to the Secure Community Network. And at least 11 other states in the last week also experienced swatting when someone reports a non existent serious crime like a bombing or a shooting.
Swatting is not a prank or a joke. It's intended to disrupt, harass, cause fear. And in today's threat environment, swatting is dangerous because it can lead to injury or death.
On Saturday, this synagogue in Alabama evacuated during Shabbat religious services due to a bomb threat.
People are on edge. They're nervous, and we're going to continue to reassure them that it's safe to come to services.
Experts say swatting incidents and bomb threats around the U.S. had already reached crisis levels before the start of the Israel-Hamas war. They're up more than 500% from last year. In recent days, law enforcement in both Ohio and California arresting minors for their alleged roles in separate swattings against synagogues over the summer. Anti-Semitic incidents also skyrocketing by 337%, hitting a record high of more than 2,000 reported cases between October and December, according to the Anti-Defamation League.
And tonight, ABC News has learned that investigators are looking into whether these swattings may have been conducted and coordinated overseas. Lindsay?
Rena, thank you.
this is really interesting because it's it's been going on for a while. We had the schools that had the bomb threats called in a couple of weeks ago. They closed down all those different schools across the country that day. And it sounds like from that video, it's not just bomb threats, it's um, swatting incidents too. Cops being called to places saying there's this and that. And they're happening to targeted different groups. This one's Jewish people, the other one was school children. And who's behind it? Who is doing it? So swatting. Let's talk about swatting. I'll teach you about it. What is swatting? Swatting is when traditionally the way it started was on YouTube or other streaming services as well, but people would figure out the address of a streamer and they would call the cops to that address and say that person is holding their girlfriend like at gunpoint, is going to kill them or whatever, and the cops would like bust in the door on the stream and like hold them at gunpoint and throw them on the ground, and people got a real kick out of it, and it happened quite a lot. There was a guy called Ice Poseidon who had been swatted an inordinate amount of times to the point where he basically almost quit YouTube. I think he did, and his channel got deleted, and a whole bunch of different other stuff happened to the poor guy because people figured out where he was. He would often stream with his location turned on, and people were able to figure out where he was, and they would often swat him all sorts of places. He even got swatted on a aircraft, like on a plane, and it was like a really big deal because they had to stop the plane and disembark and arrest him, and um, so that's what swatting is. It's a fake call out to someone's address with the SWAT team saying that something bad is happening at that address. It happens quite a lot, unfortunately, and that's why a lot of YouTubers are very cautious in protecting their identity and their addresses because they don't want that to happen. So yep, another Maria says swatting targeting the Jewish communities is terrible. I think especially right now with the different angst worldwide due to the war with Hamas and Israel and things like that. I think it's really poor taste to be swatting anyone involved in that. Doesn't matter which side, I think. And Danny Mitchell says YouTubers can be horrible. True. Gambler says, where I live mostly rained the past couple of days. Now waiting on 10 centimeters of snow in the area. Oh, I hope you don't get the really heavy stuff. Gambler says, the reason I asked if Marisol died is in my search I found Marisol Wentling obituary, 5 people crushed after car tips over. It's garbage. I clicked on it and it said a virus detected on your phone. Oh, scan your phone after this for malware. You got to be careful. Emily Narb says it's so frustrating to LE. I bet. Yeah, but the problem with law enforcement is how can they find out if the threat is correct and a real threat and if it's a fake threat? They have to treat every call like it's a real threat in case it is a real threat. And I think that's how these things happen. Unfortunately, a lot of YouTubers have had it happen, and some people have been arrested over it. They've been able to figure out where the calls came from. I think the guys in the Ice Poseidon one were arrested in the end. I think one of them was not being able to be found, but one of them was on US soil and was able to be arrested and charged over it. But the poor dude, he's had like the worst time with it. And there was another YouTuber that basically almost quit YouTube, had like millions of subs, but quit it because he kept getting swatted. Yeah. All right. Let's see. Let's see if we got one more, and then I'm going to let you guys go for the night. I appreciate everyone being here, staying subscribed, and commenting. It really means a lot to me. It really does. The people who come to this channel every day, the people who donate, the people who subscribe or leave a comment, replay crew, you guys all make my day, and I enjoy coming here each night and being able to chat to you about different topics. It means a lot. It's been a bumpy ride making this channel. I hope it's going to get better. I really do. I hope it's going to smooth out as we go along. It's been an interesting mental health exercise owning a YouTube channel. All right. Where is my links? Here. One more for tonight, and then I'm going to let you go hang out with Trish at 10:30. If I can find it. Here. All right. Texas man arrested after body found inside car at Jack in the Box. What? It says, man reportedly drove 38 miles with the body, claiming to believe he hit a deer. What on earth? I'm not even sure what a Jack in the Box is, but I think it's like a fast food place, right? It says a driver was arrested after police found a dead body in the passenger seat of his car at a North Texas Jack in the Box on Saturday, December the 16th. From the investigation, police believe a pedestrian was struck and went through the car's windshield and into the passenger seat of the vehicle. The driver, who reportedly continued on his journey for 38 miles before arriving at the fast food restaurant, claimed he believed he hit an animal. How high was this guy? Police in White Settlement, a northwestern suburb of Fort Worth, received a call regarding a driver who appeared to be slumped over the steering wheel in the parking lot of the local Jack in the Box restaurant around 11 p.m. on Saturday, according to a news release from WSPD. The caller also reported that the grey Kia Ford had extensive damage to the front hood and windshield. Officers arrived and found what appeared to be a human body with no signs of life in the front passenger seat. According to the release, the authorities immediately detained the driver, 31-year-old Nestor Luan Flores of Arlington, who they say was intoxicated. He would have to be. How would he not know that a body came through his windshield and landed in his passenger seat and that he killed the person? I mean, how? I want to see if they release the name of the victim. That's very sad. Hold on. I feel sorry for the poor person who got hit by the car. Actually, there was an update 26 minutes ago. Arlington man with prior DWI conviction accused of hitting, killing pedestrian with car. Actually, there's a little thing here.
Accused in a gruesome crash over the weekend. is being transferred to the Dallas County Jail.
The Arlington man is accused of smashing into a pedestrian and driving with part of the victim's body inside some 40 miles to White Settlement, and then telling an officer it was a deer that he had hit. Maria Guerrero has new details in this disturbing case.
Police say it took hours for someone to notice and call 911.
I just came through in a drive-thru and there's a guy in his car. It looks like he's been in a car wreck. And he just slumped over in the seat, and I just wanted to make sure he was okay.
Little could this Jack-in-the-Box customer or White Settlement police fathom what they'd find inside this smashed-up Kia Saturday night, driven, police say, by an incredibly drunk Nestor Lujan Flores.
It smelled like a brewery.
Yes, he smelled like a brewery, according to the officer.
31-year-old claimed he'd hit a deer in Dallas.
Did he not see that there was something next to him, or did he literally think that that was a deer?
We don't exactly know what he was thinking. He just says he thought he hit a deer in Dallas.
Inside was part of a man's body. Chief Chris Cook says the victim appears to be a 45-year-old homeless man, possibly panhandling, given the ID card and loose dollar bills found in the car. Dallas County deputies stumbled upon the rest of his body the next day along this service road off Cockrell Hill in Dallas.
It is tragic. It is gruesome.
The horrifying case coinciding with a joint effort by 19 Tarrant County law enforcement agencies to stop drunk drivers over the holidays. 70%, they say, become repeat offenders.
That's why we're here. We're tired of it.
Lujan already has a drunk driving conviction out of Plano from 2020. Court documents say he sped up to 96 miles an hour before stopping. His blood alcohol level, 0.14, almost twice the legal limit. Alcohol results are not yet known in Saturday's crash. Cook says they'll see to it this vulnerable victim gets justice.
This is somebody's loved one. Regardless of his housing situation, this is somebody's loved one.
Maria Guerrero, NBC5.
Did you see the hole in the side of the car's windshield? It was massive. I mean, there's no way you could mistake that. And the fact they said the man was homeless and that they only found part of him, I mean, that's horrible. It's someone who is having a tough time and is down on their luck, only to get hit by a very selfish driver who was drinking and driving. If you drink and drive, you're a very selfish person. If you are blasted and you go behind that wheel, you cannot be friends with Ping. I will not be your friend, ever. I think it's the most selfish thing you could do, especially this is what happens. I'm not here to judge anyone. I mean, I get people have alcohol problems and things like that. If you do, I feel sorry for you too. It's a hard thing to deal with. But you take a life like this, like someone homeless. I mean, talk about kicking someone when they're down. You took their life while they're at the lowest point possible of being homeless. That guy, I hope he gets sober one day and really, looks back on what he's done and then tries to spend the rest of his life making amends, because that is horrible. I mean, I don't even know how you figure that out. Like, he's like, "Oh, I hit a deer." What, did you not look next to you, like to your right? And you're like, "Oh, that's not a deer. That's half a human." Uh Danny Mitchell said, "Shouldn't matter if you had a home." No, I'm just saying. I mean, I think that makes it an aggravating factor. I mean, I feel sorry for the homeless man. He was out there. It's cold right now. I mean, even if it was a person with a mum and kids, it would be the same thing. I'd feel bad. But I just mean, feels like homeless people always are the ones who get attacked in our society. I mean, there was a story just a couple of weeks ago where a man targeted homeless people, shooting them and killing them for fun, for sport. And as a former homeless person myself, I was homeless for 10 years. I often feel a connection to homeless victims, unfortunately, just due to my own personal story. I know how hard it is. It's extremely difficult being homeless. I can tell you some of the worst nights of my life at being on those streets when I was younger. And being a young person on the streets, it was even more difficult. So, Siana says, how could he keep driving without being able to see out the windshield? Yeah, he I don't know how he did that with such a giant hole in the windshield. Danny Mitchell said 10 years. Yes, 10 years I was homeless for. Gambler says, Ping, did you look into the abducted Debbie Lynn Randall's cold case murder? Oh, yeah. Did we talk about that one already? Hold on, Gambler. I can't remember if... Is this the one we talked about? I don't know if we did it the other night, buddy. Don't know if we did this one the other day. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. Share this tab. It says, Cobb County police say DNA forensic testing has solved the 50... Yeah, I think we spoke about this one, right? 51-year-old cold case of the R-word and murder of Marietta third-grade girl. On January 13th, 1972, police say 9-year-old Debbie Lynn Randall was abducted while she was walking home from a nearby laundromat in Marietta. She was, sexually assaulted and murdered. Her body was found 16 days later near the intersection of Windy Hill and Powers Ferry Road. Officials say more than 50 years the case has haunted investigators, and detectives have investigated hundreds of leads to no avail, leaving the case cold. Now detectives say genetic genealogy has provided some answers about who left the Randall family without their little girl. There's a photo of Debbie. What a cute photo of her. We are here to provide answers and perhaps some semi-balance of closure to the family. In 2015, a circular piece of cloth found near Randall's body was sent to forensics. DNA testing led to a partial profile. 8 years later, further testing of the evidence by a Florida lab identified the suspect in Randall's R-word and murder as Mableton resident William B. Rose. Officials say they were able to connect Rose with the cloth by matching the genetic signature of a distant relative. There's a photo of him, a very old photo. Probably what he looked like at the time, maybe, at the time of the death, the murder. Rose was 24 years old at the time of the crime. Officials say apparently Rose killed himself 2 years after Randall's death. Investigators do not believe Rose had any connection to Randall and called her crime a crime of opportunity, saying he probably saw the girl by herself and made the decision to abduct her. Before DNA testing, Rose was not on our radar at all, they said. There's a full press conference here. Let's have a look. Can we watch it quickly?
Good morning. First of all, I'd like to thank
No,
you
we
for
cannot. But I can give you a link.
attending the press.
I can give you a link to it. Let me fix this. There we go. There's the link. It's probably too early for Moonlight View and Marilyn Landis. I know that Moonlight View, it's like 6 o'clock, so she might be having dinner or something. So it's possible maybe she's just busy tonight. She was here last night though. Moonlight View was here on the Sunday show last night, if you didn't watch it. Marilyn Landis was here too. So maybe they're just busy tonight and can't get here. Which that's fine. I'm sure we'll hear from them. All right, guys, I gotta wrap up and let you guys get to Trish, okay? So give me one. All right, guys, sorry, I had to fix something. Yep, go hang out with Trish, and I will see you tomorrow night at 9 p.m. for another episode of Nights with Ping. If you could like this video, I would very much appreciate it. It would help out a lot. And if you could leave a comment under this video, that would also help out amazingly. I would really, really appreciate it. And to the people who watch this channel, there's over 28% of our viewing audience are not subscribed to this channel. Please subscribe. We'd love to have you within our little group. And we have some great events coming up on Christmas and New Year's Eve. New Year's Eve at 11 overnight. So we'll be doing a lot of stuff to celebrate the new year coming in. So if you want to be a part of that, please subscribe and leave a comment. Until then, I will see you all later. Good night, everyone. See you later. Until tomorrow.